Smart 24, driving business.
Welcome back from that short break, and we'll dive right straight up into the Ghana Stock Exchange. I'm Gloria together with
Victor. Welcome back. Going right into the Ghana Securities Exchange, it appears it was a relatively calm day at the Ghana Securities Exchange. They had a total of 55,145 shares traded.
Indeed, Victor.
Yes, and they were worth actually 63,199.63.
That's impressive. And it seems like there was a quieter day compared to other exchanges we have uncovered recently.
Exactly.
And what's the market capitalization as per the Ghanaian Stock Exchange, Victor?
Well, the Ghana Stock Exchange still stands at 74 billion, actually 74.3 billion, and it gives us an insight into the market's entire value.
Wow. Wow, so thanks for that, Victor. So in the Ghanaian Stock Exchange, what individual equities did we have?
Well, Gloria, it was rather a limited participation within the Ghana Securities Exchange. We saw among the 18 listed companies, equities actually, we had only one gainer. And that was EcoBank Ghana, which saw an impressive 10% price appreciation.
Well, that's a standout performance from EcoBank Ghana, but considering this, that means we have no other gainers to report.
That's
well,
correct.
That was suddenly a really challenging day on the
That's correct, that's correct. Unfortunately, there were no other gainers to report, and it was a challenging day for the majority of all the other listed equities.
Now, when it comes to the most actively traded stocks on the Ghanaian Stock Exchange, what do we have?
Well, in terms of value, MTN Ghana led the way with 20,144 shares traded.
MTN Ghana again?
Yes, MTN Ghana. And it was followed by CAL Bank with 10,129 shares traded. We had Cocoa Processing Company and Produce Buying. It also saw an activity of 7,200 with 5,415 shares traded. And it happened respectively between both companies.
Yeah, and if we're to highlight what comes into the market indices as per the Ghanaian Stock Exchange, the benchmark for the Ghanaian Stock Exchange Composite Index, or the GCE CI, showed some positive movement, Victor, climbing up by 0.4% and closing at 3,172.93 points.
That is true.
Net.
That is true.
Exactly. And this represents a one-week loss, a one-week gain actually of 0.22%, a four-week gain of around 3.96%, and an overall year-to-date gain of 29.383%. So we saw an increase when it comes to the Ghanaian Stock Exchange Financial Stock Index, and this rose by 1.27% to reach around 1,914.20 points.
So it seems that the indices are having an upward trajectory this year.
Exactly.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Gloria, for breaking down yesterday's trading session within the Ghana Securities Exchange. While it had been a quieter day on the Ghana Securities Exchange, it is essential to stay informed on everything that goes on within the market, because anything could change it. Any source of news, any little thing can happen, and it can bring up to new gainers, it can bring up to new losers. But as usual, we shall keep you informed on everything you need to know about these securities exchanges.
Exactly, Victor. And now let's dive into the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange and analyze the market and see what we had from there. And if we're to jump right into it, we witnessed a significant surge in activity in the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange, and a total of around 8 million shares were traded with a market value of around 2 billion.
Well, of course, looking onto my charts, Gloria, I'm seeing it was quite an impressive increase in trading activity. But when we compare these numbers to the previous trading day, Monday, what stands out for you?
There's a remarkable 789% improvement in the trading volume and a 123% improvement in the turnover. So it's clearly showing that investors were quite active as of the market in yesterday's stock exchange.
So what market capitalization does this leave us?
Well, actually, this leaves us at around 10.9 trillion on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange, and this is providing a clear picture of the overall exchange as of yesterday.
Okay, okay. Well, among the 19 listed securities, of course, I'm seeing we had 10 gainers and 6 losers. We have Nampak Zimbabwe, which led the gainers with an impressive 14.34%, and that was share price appreciation, closing at 251.55 per share. Okay. You can imagine. And other gainers included CBZ Holdings and Tanhol Holdings, as well as Zimra Holdings.
Interesting. Interesting. So it's good to really see this good performance. So while on the flip side.
Indeed. Well, jumping to the flip side, we had Diary Board Holdings. Of course, it certainly had a challenging day with a price depreciation of all the way up to 14.71%, closing at a share price of 460.2175.
Well, Diary Board has been quite a performer, so this is really, really, really new.
They must be going through it.
Exactly.
Moving to Econet Wireless Zimbabwe, we also had Delta Corporation, then we had Eco Cash Holdings Zimbabwe. These also saw significant declines within their share prices.
Okay, so when we look at the most actively traded stocks as concerning Zimbabwe, we had someone called Mashelda Holdings that took the lead with around 6.6 million traded shares. This is really good, and Diary Board Holdings followed by 468,900 traded shares. And we had Tanganda Tea Company and Delta Corporation that also had substantial trading volumes.
Okay, okay. Moving on to the share index.
The share index are concerning
what would you have? What information would you have regarding on the share indices and all other share indexes within the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange?
Well, highlighting our share index from the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange, we have the all share index, or which you call the ZCAISSI. This shared at 0.44% and losing 580.32 points, and this to close at around 32.680. This represents a 1-week gain of 13.75%, a 4-week gain of 8.79%, and an astonishing year-to-year date of around 580.68%. So we also observe movements in other indexes like the top 10 index, the top 15 index, the small cap index, the medium cap index, the industrials index, and also the financial index of the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange.
Well, thank you, Gloria. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a sign of volatility within the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much for breaking down yesterday's trading session. We want to keep you sure that we shall keep giving you all the information you need to know about these stock exchanges as and when anything falls due.
And right now, we'd like to know about the Malawi Stock Exchange recap. We'd love to know what happened there, and considering the Malawi Stock Exchange, we have some interesting developments with around 616 shares that were traded and with a market value of around 115 million.
Well, indeed, indeed, and it appears it was quite an uptick in activity on the Malawi Stock Exchange. When we compare these numbers to yesterday's trading session, Gloria, what stands out for you?
Well, we observed a substantial 206 increasing in total trading volume and an astonishing 787% improvement in turnover. It's clear that was significant market activity.
Well, that is quite impressive. It was indeed a big jump in turnover. But now, moving on to Malawi's market capitalization, it still stands at 6.42 trillion, giving us an understanding on the exchange's overall value.
All right, Victor, thank you for that context. What individual stocks did we have there, however?
Well, obviously, among the 12 listed equities, we had 3 gainers and 3 losers. We had Standard Bank, Malawi, led the gainers with 3.7%. That was share price appreciation, and it closed at a share price of 2,800.01 per share. National Investment Trust and National Bank of Malawi also saw some really big gains.
Wow, that's good to see some positive movements this time round. So looking at the other side of the spectrum, we had FDH Bank that had a challenging day with a price depreciation of 1.39%, closing at around 70.99 per share. We had NBS Bank and FNB Capital Holdings also saw some declines in their share prices.
Well, thank you so much for that highlight on the top performers in terms of volume. Now, let's discuss the market indices. How do they fare?
The market indices, well, considering in terms of volume, we have Blantyre Hotels that took the lead with around 155,000 traded shares. We have Telecom Networks followed by Malawi, and then we also had 100 that had 106 shares that were traded. We also had Airtel Malawi with 96,000 traded shares. We had FMB Capital Holdings that saw a significant trading activity with 87 traded shares.
Well, thank you so much for that highlight. We want to move to like you were talking about the indices, right? I'm seeing a lot of resilience, and it might persist till the end of this final quarter of the year. But thank you so much, Gloria, for that crucial information.
Exactly.
And we would want to proceed to one of our week's highlights.
Exactly, and we would love to also look at the benchmark indices concerning Malawi.
Of course, and as it was our emphasis for this week to put all this information out there for you, we want to proceed to the benchmarks of the all-share index of Malawi Stock Exchange as it stands. It showed some positive movement. This was a climbing of 0.25%, closing at 118,663.47 points.
That's impressive.
Obviously, this represents a one-week loss of 0.2% and a four-week loss of 0.89%. But an impressive year-to-year date gain of 91.28%. And of course, we also observed movements in other indices like Malawi Domestic Share Index and the Malawi Foreign Share Index.
Wow. That's actually impressive. But as we can see, that's what we had from the Malawi Stock Exchange. And right now, we'd love to get some insights on what the Kenyan shilling's weakening.
Well, the weakening of the Kenyan shillings, of course, we had insights on what was going down within that market. And as Gloria was doing all the necessary diving, we tried to break down this information for you just for your knowledge.
Exactly, and let's say that the Kenyan shillings has been stable, but there are expectations that it might weaken during today's trading session due to an increase in the demand for dollars from various importers in Kenya.
Really?
Exactly.
Please proceed.
So, Victor, what could be the current numbers? What's telling us about these current performances?
Well, particularly at this very moment, we have commercial banks quoted within the shillings and the dollars. We wanted you to understand that most of these currencies are very much determined, their performance is very much determined by the performance of the dollar. And of course, it has been showing some shifts, and it has been shaking so many of these people out, and they have been seeking out for their foreign reserves just to be safe.
Okay.
But moving on to the current numbers, as of 7/29, commercial banks quoted that at shillings 148.40 per dollar, which is the same as Tuesday's closing rate.
Exactly.
However, it is worth noting that earlier in this session, it briefly touched 148.4565.
Okay.
This, of course, is marking a fresh all-time low, and according to data from the LSEG.
That's quite a significant move, so I'm wondering why traders will expect this shilling to move further. So actually the key factor here is that the consistent demand for dollars by importers who are anticipating a further weakening of the shillings in days ahead. This substantial pressure from those buying dollars is clear, or a clear sign that the shilling might face some challenges in maintaining its stability.
So, of course, as it seems, we are going to continue to keep a vigilant eye on the performance of the Kenyan shilling, as well as it is showing the need because of the dollar's movements recently.
Absolutely, Victor, and this situation actually underscores the importance of monitoring currency fluctuations, as they can have significant implications for various sectors of the economy.
Indeed, indeed, indeed.
Okay, so moving into our cryptocurrency sector, we have something concerning the Bitcoin, and this has been about the financial insights engagement. And the renowned crypto analyst Rick Capture has brought our attention a recurring bearish fracture in the Bitcoin's historical price data, and raising concerns for potential drop below the $20,000 mark.
That is right. That is right, Gloria. Now, for those not familiar with the term, a bearish fractal is an indicator that identifies potential turning points on a price chart by highlighting repetitive price patterns, and in simple terms, it suggests potential price decline.
Wow. So, Victor, could you elaborate on how this bearish fractal pattern works actually?
Of course, Gloria. Well, this pattern with a double top where Bitcoin reaches a peak price, but here is the twist actually. It does not validate with a dip below a significant support level as you might expect. Instead, the price typically experiences a relief rally, forming a lower high and only eventually crash below the previous mentioned support. So this then becomes a new resistance level.
Fascinating. So Rect Capital suggests that this pattern has appeared in 2019 and 2022 and is possibly re-emerging in around 2023. So what's happening around the capital market right now?
Well, the current market scenario as in 2023 mirrors initial stages of this bearish fractal, and Rect Capital points out that we might be in the middle of this pattern already, actually, but there's uncertainty about where the relief rally might conclude.
Interesting. And the interesting scenarios from this recap too, they believe that Bitcoin's price could actually rise up to approximately $29,000.
Yes.
And before experiencing further declines. So the key events to watch out for include the potential overextensions behind the bull market, support band, and revisit on the high lower resistors.
For sure, for sure.
Exactly. So these factors will determine whether the bearish fracture remains valid or not.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is crucial information for anyone invested in Bitcoin.
Exactly.
Are there any technical indicators that Rect Capital highlighted?
Oh, yeah. One significant point is Bitcoin recently rallied to the 200-week moving average, the MA, so which is currently acting as resistance. You know, this 200-week MA also aligns with the lower high resistance, making it a crucial juncture for Bitcoin's price. So Red Capital cautions that the Bitcoin needs to overcome the $28,000 lower high resistance, and this should be done by a weekly chart for more bullish outlook.
Well, so there's a lot to consider here.
Exactly.
Well, Bitcoin seems to be at crossroads, and we'll certainly keep an eye on those developments. Thank you so much, Gloria, for those insights of this complex situation, because I'm sure so many viewers are paying attention to everything that is going on within the cryptocurrency.
Yes, our people right there that are working in a cryptocurrency.
Yes,
and we have also some concerning news concerning the Capital Chicken as of today, a company that has been operating in Uganda for 2 years, which unexpectedly closed down, leaving its CEO missing. And this has caused a lot of distress among other investors who have lost their money. I
have actually personally seen so many, or had so many of these adverts about Capital Chicken going on, and for sure I thought it was a promising investment. But I hadn't made any move yet, so I must say I'm still on the safe side. But
really?
Indeed, this is quite a distressing situation for investors involved. The uncertainty surrounding whether the authorities will be able to trace the owners of Capital Chicken or the investors will have to write off their losses is certainly a cause for concern.
Exactly, Victor, and it's a situation that highlights the importance of due diligence when investing. Now let's address the comment we received about radio and TV paying taxes and their role in holding those who pay them accountable.
That's an interesting point, Gloria. Well, radio and TV stations are indeed an essential part of the information ecosystem, and they can play a crucial role in shedding light on situations like this and holding entities accountable.
Exactly, and the transparency and accountability are the key in the financial world. However, this government also needs the individuals to actually use their inner eye to monitor and take advantages of opportunities.
That is actually a unique way to put it, Gloria. It emphasizes the importance of staying vigilant and informed as an investor. But sometimes, things may not always be as they seem, and it is essential to exercise caution.
Absolutely. It's really, really, really good to keep an eye out for details and doing further research in the world of finance. So this can help and protect one's investments.
That is for sure. Thank you so much, Gloria, for those insights within the capital market situation. So many people have been reaching out to know what they can do or help out friends that had perhaps invested within this this franchise. But it is such a very sad thing to happen. But this is a lesson as well. It comes as a lesson to teach all investors to understand that sometimes risk is there, but there is indeed a way to avoid it. And it is through vigilant research on what exactly you're investing in, how do they handle their resources, what are their sources of income. All these are very valuable points to look through before you invest.
Well said, Victor, and that's all we had for today in our financial market segment. We'll be coming back with another topic concerning market analysis. So stay informed and do your research and stay vigilant. Thank you for watching. It was me.